Hi, my name is Amy Lauren. This is the Mindfulness and Essential Oils class. I'm really excited to present this content to you. Just to share a little bit about myself, if you're not familiar with me. I work as a transformation coach, and in that I integrate mindfulness practices, essential oils, and energy healing and other healing modalities. And I do that alongside coping to really help you get to the root issues and then actually have the resources with essential oils and Young Living products, as well as the practices to continue to do that work on your own. So it's really about empowering you and making sure you have what you need in your home and in your life to really experience the changes that you're looking for. I also bring a lot of expertise in trauma-informed care and in the mental health field for about 13 years or so. So I bring that perspective to any of the work that I do as well. And ultimately, whether it's classes like these ones, these virtual classes, individual coaching, or just trying to connect health conscious folks like you with products from Young Living and advocating for awareness of how to live a natural and healthy lifestyle, and bridging products or bringing resources, bridging skills and information to you so that you have everything that you need to be well. And today's class, really, I'm going to be walking you through different mindfulness practices, and that really are going to help you access the power of your senses and be able to help you see how essential oils and aromatics can become an excellent bridge to nature when maybe you're cooped up indoors or, during quarantine like most of us, and you're feeling really disconnected. I think that we have all experienced the different challenges with that level of disconnect during this time. So what I get really excited about is sharing how essential oils can help be that bridge for you. And for some people that might seem obvious, for others, they might not quite get that link. So I'm going to tease that out today. And just another note real quick, if you've just joined us, please check the chat box to click on the link that's in there. I'll type it in one more time here. And go to that link and fill out the information there. It will help me to know what your needs are. And if I wasn't able to attend to some of the questions tonight, then I can support you with that. And it also enters you into a raffle to win some free oils tonight that you can't get through Young Living anymore. They're actually no longer available. So you get some exclusive oils there. So if you have any, I made the note in the event page that if you have any aromatic plants, actual live growing plants in your home, any herbs or anything like that, or you have dried herbs, or if you don't have that, of course, if you have your essential oils, bring them out if you do already use those. And if not, do you have any fruits, oranges, apples, things like that are aromatic? And the reason being that if you have access to that, then it's something that you can utilize during the practices that we're doing tonight. I'm really big on making sure that what I talk about is translatable to your day-to-day life, because I could share all this information, all of these resources, but at the end of the day, if it's not immediately integratable and translatable to your life and easy to do so, then you're just not going to do that. So it's been a little bit challenging to do some of these classes virtually, because usually, I have the bottle of oil right in front of me and I'm able to pass it around and you're able to experience it. So my workaround with that, my pivot, is helping you use what's already in your home and seeing that you've already been exposed to essential oils throughout your entire lifetime through plants and fruits and herbs and vegetables and trees and shrubs and all of that stuff. And recognizing that there's been a certain degree of power and influence that all of those plants and those essential oils have also had for you. So once again, if you want to grab any of that stuff, if you don't have it in front of you, think for a moment what's in your pantry or your plants, and bring that in front of you. And once again, we had a couple other people join us. If you could go to the link in the chat box, and please just take a moment to fill out that quick survey and give me that information on what your health and wellness interests are. I'll make sure I follow up with that. And that also enters you into win some free oils tonight too. So you don't want to miss that. I'm looking for my water. I don't have that there. Okay, so let's do just a really quick meditation to just help you kind of get here. So just go ahead and close your eyes and just start taking a couple of deep breaths. Just a long, deep breath in and a long exhale. Deep breath in and a long exhale. One more deep breath in and long exhale. And just let yourself breathe a bit more naturally. Just focusing your attention on the in and out of your breath. And just bringing your awareness to this moment as you allow anything from the day to just fall away. And just giving yourself this intentional moment to breathe and be present. And just thank yourself for showing up today with intentions to support your healing, your wellness. And on your in breath, maybe just establish the intention to be open-minded, receptive to the things that support you today. And just exhale and release anything that might hold you back today. Okay, so go ahead and open your eyes and bring yourself back. It just helps to enable you to be a bit more present, a bit more open-minded, and that will help us do the rest of the work today too. So I think I'm going to go from this point right into a couple other meditations, or maybe just one. We'll see how it goes. But actually, before I do that, I want to hear from you. If you either want to type in chat or you can unmute yourself. I just want to hear from you what, when you think throughout your life of smells and aromas that have been influential or memorable for you, just what immediately comes to mind. And maybe if you reflect on seasons, this particular time of year, what are maybe some aromatic influences that come to mind? So, I can start. I always think of apples in the fall, winter season. I grew up in a rural area where we actually made apple cider. and we'd actually go to different orchards in the area, and if they had excess apples that they weren't using, we would go and harvest some of those apples. And just being able to sit around a circle with a pit of apples and water that are cleaning, and picking those out and cutting those to make cider out of it, and just the smell of the sweetness and the tartness of the apples, and just the slight chill in the air, but also still warm enough that there were bees that were trying to get the sweetness from the apple. So when I smell apples, especially in a particular time of the year in the fall, it always evokes those memories. And within those memories, it evokes those emotions too. There's a sentimentality to it. There's a positive emotion, a sense of home to it, because it was a generational thing that we did. Me, my parents, my grandparents. So, and you can see, as I'm talking, it's kind of my affect is showing some of the emotions there for me too. So other people mentioned in chat fresh baked cookies. I think we can all have memories to that. Fires, rain, pumpkin. Yeah, so, and if you think about what's actually really happening there, okay, so candles and tea, right? So if you have scented candles, there's the aromatics of that, the aromatics in the teas that you're using as well. So as you think about these different experiences and the sense and the memories and the emotions, just actually how complex all of that is. And the reason being is that our sense of smell is intricately linked with our memory and our emotions. And all of that is actually housed in the limbic system in the brain. And in addition to that, the power of our emotions, the intensity of our emotions, positive or negative, our memory, our sensory experiences, and then also trauma are all kind of, in the same center, in the limbic center. And our sense of smell in particular is very intricately linked to that. And I want to share a little bit of information about that. So first, I want to illustrate with essential oils that tests have actually shown that, and even beyond essential oils, just using aromatics. And I like to use that broader term, especially for this class, because you might not have any experience with essential oils or essential oils in front of you. But just tests have shown that aromatics and those aroma molecules in the air, hi there, Michelle, when we smell them, they actually reach the heart, liver, and thyroid within 3 seconds, and they're found in the bloodstream within 26 seconds. So that's actually statistics specifically with essential oils. So that's really powerful. It gets into your body very quickly, and it can be influential very quickly. When an odor molecule and those aromatics are inhaled into the nasal cavity, they're first sensed by the olfactory cells, and then it binds to the cells that eventually carry it directly to structures in the brain, particularly the limbic system. So this is the most scientific I'm going to get all night, guys. But it's really important to know what's potent here. And in the limbic system, this is what's the center that's responsible for storing and releasing emotional trauma. It also has it passes through the structures that create a conscious perception of odor. So where we make the memory associated with the aroma. And then it gets processed in a way that then gets sent on to the hippocampus, where the long-term memory center is located. So this means that our sense of smell, as I said, is intricately linked to what we remember and how we remember it and the emotions around that, whether it's positive or negative. So in my work, helping people work through issues with trauma, it's really important to help them focus on getting into their body and working with the body, working with the sense of smell, and working with the senses overall. And the more that we can do that in a way that's constructive, we can support the body in its natural abilities to heal itself and to be able to release that. So this is why I'm such a big believer in using essential oils in your day-to-day life and in your journey of healing, recovering, personal growth, because they're a very powerful tool, really helping you be in a state of being that is more grounded, centered, supporting you in being able to release stuff that has been hard to do, because it actually needs to be released from the receptors in the brain, not just your thoughts, not just what you're feeling. It's actually, there's a physiological release that needs to happen. And so we often need more than just talking or processing or thinking about it. We need some kind of physical support. And essential oils can be one of those areas of physical support for you as well. Okay, so the other thing this is a really cool fact that I didn't know till I started researching this, is that our whole entire body actually has olfactory receptors. So our whole body is using the sense of smell. Actually, our skin has olfactory receptors all over it. Our kidneys and other organs in our body have been tested to show that they actually have olfactory receptors. So your whole body is actually smelling and taking in the aroma that is around you. So this is so important when you're thinking about what you're exposing yourself to, as far as good and positive and useful aromas, but also the chemicals and toxins and things like that that you're exposed to as well. Someone mentioned candles, and there's actually a study out there that says because of the paraffin wax, which is actually a petrochemical, a lot of people don't realize that there's actually plastics, because petrochemicals have components of plastics and other toxic chemicals in the candles. If you're using beeswax, totally different story, great, you've got a green light there. But if not, there's a lot of chemicals in that, and studies have shown that if you burn a candle, I think it's for 4 hours, it's equivalent to smoking 2 packs of cigarettes, or not smoking, but being exposed to 2 packs of cigarettes in a day. So as though someone else near you is actually doing that. Yeah. Someone's saying, wow. Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, okay, that confirms my experience with candles, where I'm always like, there's, it's great, they're pretty, all of that stuff. But actually, like if you're sensitive enough, you will notice kind of like the film, the heaviness of the candles in the air. And that's why. So get rid of your candles and get a diffuser. Actually, the diffuser that we use has a candlelight setting, so it gives you that same ambiance without the harsh chemicals, and using essential oils in it that not only are aromatically pleasant. You like just blew my mind. Yeah, right. And I talk more about that stuff in my toxic-free cleaning class. I'm sorry, I use a couple different titles. Creating a toxin-free home class, or toxic-free cleaning class. It's the same class. How to get chemicals out of your house, and how to just give you the education about here's what's hidden in your home. Here's what's making you sick. And the worst part is, with the companies out there that sell all of this stuff, they actually, we trust that if it's on the shelf that it's safe. And sadly, guys, like, that's not the case. So I do a lot to educate people on, like, here's what's actually really happening. You're going to be a little bit horrified here, but I'm going to bring in some hope, and here's what you can actually do to make some of those changes and support your health and not harm it. So yeah, use natural essential oils and make sure you have the purest quality so you're not harming your health. What I want to say about that with essential oils is they are unfortunately not regulated by the government either, because it's actually too hard to control and regulate something plant-based that's so variable. Because if you think about it, a lavender plant that gets grown in different environments will have different constituents when it's harvested. So it doesn't look the same necessarily at the end, even if it's, completely organic, has no other chemicals added. That bottle of oil is completely pure. It's just plant-based. So the problem is there's just so much variation. So the government just can't really regulate it in a way that, can be true plant to plant. So sadly, you could have in, this bottle of essential oil, sadly, only 7% of it could be plant-based, and the rest could be literally anything. It could be added chemicals, it could be fragrance, it could be adulterants. So the other thing that I teach people is, how to make sure you're selecting the purest, safest, best quality essential oils, because if, just the example I gave, if you're using essential oils to swap out candles, for instance, you don't want other hidden chemicals in that bottle of essential oil. You want the best that's out there. So I'll talk at the very end where you can source it and company that I trust, and why I trust them, so you can use that to do your research. But yeah, I make sure no matter what class I do, that you're getting this information, that if you start using essential oils, that you're getting the best out there. Because a huge factor when we're looking at emotional health, mental health, spiritual well-being, you don't want to be using essential oils that have chemicals that will actually end up disrupting that limbic system that we talked about. There's chemicals out there called endocrine disruptor chemicals, EDCs, and those actually disrupt your hormones, which are the things that support every organ in your body, and they support and enable your emotional balance as well. So you don't want to be just taking any essential oils, because it will literally do the opposite of what we're trying to do here tonight. So just putting that little footnote in there. And if you want any more information about basics and generals with essential oils and safeties and precaution, check out my Essential Oils for Everyday Living classes. You'll get tons of information there too. And I did see some questions in the chat. I will get to some of that towards the end there. So I'll make sure that I answer all those questions. Okay, so I made the note that all essential oils are not created equal. Let me see if I got all the other stuff. Yeah, and there's other precautions with children and pregnant women and things like that too. So when you actually start to use these, or if you've been using them and don't know some of those precautions, then please reach out to me before you start using them, so that you don't get any harmful effects there. But all right, let's get into the mindfulness stuff, because that's, I know you're here, and I know some of you guys had your mind blown about some of this information, which is great. I love getting the right info out there for everybody. So mindfulness practices and essential oils. The thing is, I really want you to be aware of how accessible nature is through your senses. And through your sense of smell, to actually really help you feel more connected. So I talked at the beginning about how much throughout COVID we're feeling so disconnected. You might even be spending more time outside, but still struggling to feel that sense of connection just because things are so uprooted, so changed, so out of your nature. And because essential oils have literally been, growing in those plants alongside you since the beginning of time, growing alongside nature, humans since the beginning of time, we have always been in communication with one another. So if you think for a moment about the trees, and the fact that the trees release these essential oils and release oxygen for us. And, through that oxygen, there's also often essential oils emitted from the bark and the needles or the leaves of the trees. And we inhale that and we take that in, and our body metabolizes that. Our brain, metabolizes that and uses that and gets the information from that. And then we exhale. And as we're exhaling, we're communicating with those plants and they're taking in our breath. So as we breathe alongside each other, we are communicating with one another. We're connecting with one another, and we're both supporting and enhancing our nature and connecting with that nature. So just take a moment, just to pause there and let that message sit. Just take a couple of deep breaths. Just bring to your awareness how throughout life you've always been in that communication, that didactic mutual relationship back and forth with nature. Go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to go into some meditation here. And bring to awareness how throughout life you've had that support and you've been giving support. And I want you to bring your awareness to recent in life as your eyes are closed. Just recalling the last time you were in a setting in nature, which could have been just walking through your neighborhood, maybe at a park, maybe even in your backyard or on your porch. In a time that you were in nature that evoked positive experiences and sensations. And as you're recalling that, I want you to observe the sights and images. What do you see? What do you note? Now, what do you feel on your body? Do you notice the temperature or the breeze or the sun or the rain? Any of the elements that are making contact with your skin? Now, what are the sounds? And what do you smell? When you notice the temperature, can you smell the temperature? And when you're allowing yourself to recall smell, I want you to encourage your body to remember, not your mind. Let your body tell you the memory of the smell. And maybe with that sense of smell, it expands your awareness to other things that you were near but didn't see with your eye. So what about the smell of the earth or the sun or the grass or the trees? Now notice your sensations inside, your emotions. And your sense of being. What do you notice about your sense of being or your state of being right now? And lastly, what is nourishing you in this experience? And as you notice the things that are nourishing you, I want you to focus on your in-breath. Take a deep breath in and see if you can allow yourself to receive that nourishment and breathe it deeply in. So I want you to keep your eyes closed and just kind of stay in this state and just notice where you're at and how you feel. And if you've brought any essential oils or herbs or plants or fruit with you and it's nearby, go ahead and bring that forward and let yourself have a moment with that. Go ahead and smell it. And if you don't have anything in front of you, then I want you to envision yourself making more contact with something in nature that you just noticed. Just visualize yourself going up to it and encountering it with your sense of smell more deeply. So either visualize that or bring your essential oils or herbs or plants and just take some deep breaths of those. And just let your body kind of settle into that. And then finally take a moment just to Thank everything. Thank yourself for showing up. Thank the plants or the trees or the fruit or the herbs or the oils, whatever feels right for you. It's always a nice ending to our personal practices to extend gratitude. And then just slowly open your eyes if you haven't done that yet. Just bring yourself back. So, how was that? How did you feel? You can feel free to type that in chat, or you can unmute yourself. Welcome to some of the folks that came in midway. I was just walking people through this mindfulness practices. And what I would just add, guys, is, the approach tonight with the content is ultimately to assist you in finding that bridge to nature that is beyond you, but also that bridge to the nature that is within you, and recognizing that they are one of the same. And as essential oils have actually been evolving alongside us through the plants that have been emitting them throughout the beginning of time, they're an excellent tool to help us get in our nature and get in better relationship with our nature. So tonight it was a couple different ways to help you access that. One, through remembering through your senses, using visualization to further that experience, to deepen your experience with things in nature that have been nourishing and comforting to you, and using things that are naturally in your home to see that the plants or herbs or teas or fruit or any of those things that are in your home also have essential oils and those aromatics that influence that limbic center in the brain, and influence emotion and influence memory. And you can use them that way. They're certainly not as potent as essential oils because the essential oils are much more concentrated. So, the way to introduce essential oils to people that might not have them or are familiar with them is using some of these creative means to do that and help you to see the power of memory and emotion and scent. And this is why I encourage people to use essential oils, because it supports all of that and enhances that process, and becomes another way for you to get in better relationship with yourself. So yeah, people are saying, and thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed the guidance. You're able to revisit some good memories. That's great. And so you can keep working with those same memories or those experiences. Maybe it's that specific memory. You keep working with that. And sometimes we might also be surprised at some of the aromas or scents. They're not always pleasant, but maybe they're grounding. For instance, or maybe we don't even judge them as pleasant or unpleasant. Like I'm thinking in particular, some of the specific scents associated with fall and actually death and decay. The decaying scent, I think very particular of actually in the summer of hay being stacked as mulch, and at a specific point, the sweetness of the smell of the hay that was decaying in the pile. But if you go too far, too much decay, it smells rotten and icky. And it just also shows you how fragile yet beautiful that experience of death and decay and life and creation is as well. So you might find there's a whole mix of different aromatics happening. that mean a lot of different things for you, or are representing, are being metaphors for you for various things. Another thing about essential oils that I love, if you actually start researching some of the plants and what it takes to actually extract some of the plants. Probably going to get some of these facts wrong, but I'll do my best. Sandalwood, Royal Hawaiian sandalwood, that's, you know, obviously in Hawaii, a forest in Hawaii, actually has to, the tree has to be dead for at least 30 years before the essential oils can actually be extracted from that tree. And the tree itself is actually parasitic. So it goes around all of the other trees around it and it chokes them out. It sucks the life out of them, and then it dies. And through the dying process, it emits this sweet resinous oil that is, you know, powerful. Sandalwood is one of the sacred oils. It's a powerful oil for skin care, and just supporting a lot of health needs. But if you think about all that's going on for that plant and bring your conscious awareness to that, and as you're using that, it's another beautiful resource and tool just to be able to help you to connect to something bigger than yourself. And you know, I don't want to say more influential, but influential beyond you. And learn some lessons from that plant too. When I started to use that plant for different purposes, and I was recognizing what it did and sort of the medicine behind those dynamics and what it was doing, and just kind of the protection, if you will, something that is able to choke things out. You know, you can really start to see a deeper beauty in essential oils, and not just using them for kind of how Western medicine would see that there's a symptom and we use it for the symptom. Well, you know, and, you know, technically, because I'm talking about Young Living oils tonight, I can't make any claims anyhow, but I don't even think that that's relevant. I'd rather you use essential oils to expand and enhance your relationship with yourself and your relationship within nature, as part of nature, and better understanding how essential oils are part of that and what their nature is. That's really where the beauty and the power is. So yeah, I'm excited to hear anything else from you guys that you want to share from your experience. If not, I'll go ahead into talking a little bit about how you can get good essential oils too. I'm also going to make a note again. A couple people popped in later into the meeting. I just posted a link in the chat box. If you can please click to that and fill it out real quick. It just asks you what some of your health and wellness concerns, questions, needs are. And it also enters you into win a free oils prize tonight too. Just for participating and hanging out, like to extend some gifts to people, and also so that you can experience them, experience some Young Living oils. And this is actually a oil that's no longer in stock. They don't make it anymore. It's an oil blend from Young Living. So yeah, if you can please fill that out. And I'll also be in touch with you too. If you want to be on my newsletter to stay up to date with classes or other things, please make note of that too. But where to get essential oils, I'm going to share my screen really quick. Hang on, guys. And while I'm doing this, if you could tell me, you know, what excited you about the class tonight? What did you learn? I'm going to go ahead and feel free to type that into chat. And also, like, how can I help you going forward? Like, what would you like to expand in your mindfulness practice from tonight? And maybe I can answer any questions you have with that too. So really quickly, let's see if we can move this and expand that. Just how you get started with good quality oils. I talked way at the beginning about how purity and quality actually really matters. If you're trying to get rid of chemicals and ick out of your home, we talked about getting rid of candles and just all the chemicals in candles, how it really is just bad stuff unless you're using beeswax candles. Get rid of that, get rid of air fresheners and plug-ins. Those have some of the worst chemicals, carcinogens, things linked to infertility. You do not want that stuff in your house. So use essential oils in place of that. Use essential oils to support your mindfulness practices, your overall health. What you're going to do is you're going to go to Young Living. So just go to youngliving.com, youngliving.com. Young Living is the brand that I eventually came to. I didn't know about them. I was using essential oils all over the place. I was applying them to my skin, even diluted, and I was getting sick. I was getting rashes. I was getting headaches. So I really did my research on, okay, what makes a good quality oil here? Because I don't want to waste my money. I was even getting things like rose essential oil and stuff with these other companies and just didn't compare, guys. So I talk in my essential oils for everyday living class about Young Living and the standards that they set, but they have 8 points testing that they do with all of their essential oils, from planting it into the ground to distillation process to manufacturing, all of that. They own their farms and regulate all that goes into the planting and harvesting and distillation process. They've been around for 25 years. So they're actually the longest and largest essential oil distributor in the country. So you really can't go wrong with them. And what you'll do is you'll go to youngliving.com. You can see, you might need to move your screen over a little bit to see the starter kit here. But you get a diffuser, and this one actually has that candle lighting setting that I talked about, candlelit setting. So you can have that ambiance without the chemicals. You just put water in it, a couple drops of essential oil, and it diffuses as a fine vapor in the air. It's awesome. Again, I talk more about all of that stuff in the other class. You get 12 different bottles of essential oil. You get a hand sanitizer. You get a natural all-purpose cleaner. Both of those don't have anything but plants in them, and they're effective. So the hand sanitizer kills 99.9% of germs. Awesome. Way better than Purell, which has known carcinogens in them. You got Ninja packets, which is a wolfberry juice that is very high in antioxidants. And you get 12 different bottles of essential oil that are 5 millimeters. And that has about 100 drops of essential oil in one of those bottles. You're going to use about 3 to 5, maybe a little bit more if you have a large space in your diffuser, and that's going to run for about 7 hours to give you an idea of how long that's going to last. And you have everything from lemon, peppermint, lavender. You have some blends in the kit. Valor, which is awesome for grounding, supporting your emotional health, well-being, peace and calming, stress away. You have frankincense in the kit, which is well worth it to get the kit just for that, because frankincense is a pretty expensive oil typically. You have Raven Blend, Thieves Blend, which is what we're diffusing all throughout COVID. Yeah, and I'm forgetting some of the other ones, but you have 12 different oils in the kit, all that support different body systems, support your emotional health, your respiratory health, your digestive health. And when you get the kit, so the kit is $165, and that's majorly reduced from the cost if you were to get each of these individually. When you get the kit, you become a Young Living member. And membership simply means that you get wholesale 24% discount going forward on any of their products. So yeah, you want to go that route. You don't want to get single things because you're actually going to pay more. And the starter kit is great because you're getting everything you need to just start integrating it into your life. When you get the kit and become a member, you also end up on my Oils Wonderland team, which means I become a person that is your point of contact to walk you through the products, give you product education information. You get to participate in our exclusive oils team meetups and events. We meet every other week as a team. So you get community too. You get community, you get education, you get support. Yeah, it's really a great thing to do. And the other option you have when you're going to the youngliving.com site, you're looking at that kit, you're proceeding with getting the starter kit, you can opt into Essential Rewards. And that is basically their loyalty program for making monthly custom orders. So you sign up, you make a custom order that would bill and ship 30 days from your starter kit purchase, and then you get rewarded 10% back on your purchases. So, and after 3 months, you get 20% back. So you get rewarded a lot of points that you can earn you can use towards products that you want to try out or products that you love and need. And the big thing is that when you go to youngliving.com, you click on that starter kit, opt into that Essential Rewards, create that custom order if you choose to do that. You want to make sure you plug in my enroller and sponsor number, and that's indicated on the screen here. That is 1077-4919. So again, it's 1077-4919. When you plug that in, that puts you on my team. That means you're associated with me, and I'll follow up with you. So yeah, just go to youngliving.com, select the premium starter kit. It's $175. Opt into the Essential Rewards so you get reward points for your purchases. If you create that custom order, and if you're iffy about doing that and unsure if you want to continue to make monthly orders, it's risk-free for the first 30 days. So it won't bill or process till that point, but you'll still earn those rewards that you can use. So you might as well go with that. And in that time, you'll meet with me, you'll talk with me. We can change that order. We can cancel it if you need to. So I always say to people, do it in the beginning. You can make the change. You can make the change later. So let me stop sharing the screen. I know there was several people in chat talking. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording so that I can just chat directly with you guys.